Hey everybody, happy Monday. Joy Bowen here, and I wanted to come in live because I'm reading this book this month called Lioness Arising. Ooh, girl, I am on page 31, and I already was like, oh, I gotta go live and talk about this. It is so dang good. So let me set up the backstory for you, okay, about my life. I grew up in a very conservative home, and my grandfather was a pastor of a very conservative church. And I grew up with this false belief that women were somehow not made for church leadership. I always knew that women were empowered and equipped for leadership in the business world. But for whatever reason, I had this limiting belief because, well, if you haven't been in the church, then you don't understand this and you're like, you're crazy. But I had this limiting belief that for whatever reason, like there wasn't a seat at the table for women when it came to leadership, when it came to things of faith. And so I remember growing up thinking that honestly, like the only thing I could ever think about doing growing up was being a pastor. And I thought, oh, that's so ridiculous. Like who would ever be a woman pastor, right? Like so limited thinking, but this is just like the person that I am. And so I feel like I kind of traveled that vein a little bit because I'm a worship leader. And so I feel like I found my niche in communicating my heart and passion for God and expressing that through song. But you have to understand that it took years of kind of peeling back the layers of the onion and realizing that I was equipped and called and capable of far more than I gave myself credit for. I grew up with a very big scarcity mindset, right? That success was meant for other people, certainly not for me. And that leadership, that just was like out of reach, right? Even though I had that kind of like seed planted within me, I really didn't even think that it would ever become a possibility in my life. So I'm sitting here reading, needless to say, I've done a lot of personal development since those days. And I now have a new, fresh mindset. And so I feel like I've been set free. But the reason why I wanted to get on here and share this nugget with you is because I am positive that there are other women out there that feel that same kind of oppression, that feel that same kind of limitation. And let me just tell you, that is like, not right. And especially as it pertains to health. Like Anna and I talk about this all the time. We talk about very deep, weird stuff in our house. If you knew my boys and just how like smart they were, you'd be like, you guys talk about quantum physics? I'm like, well, I don't, but the boys do. But we were talking, I just posted this nugget in our challenge group. We do like a nightly check-in where we talk about how our day went, and then usually like some kind of mindset or deeper topic that we can kind of chew on. And I wrote this down and I said, okay, so like this little nugget popped up to me. It says, speak up for those who cannot speak for themselves, ensure justice for those being crushed. It's taken out of Proverbs. And my question to the people in our challenge group was like, okay, so like, how does this affect us as it pertains to health? Like, what injustice in the world have you seen when it comes to our culture setting us up for success or for failure when it comes to healthy living? And, you know, I normally wouldn't like be a conspiracy theorist, but like, let me just tell you, there are such things as like highly palatable foods where like, you know, some of the processed foods that we crave and that we love, they are intentionally made to keep us addicted, right? They have excessive amounts of sugar, excessive amounts of salt, and so it changes our palate. Because at the end of the day, these products that are manufactured have a bottom line, and they only improve their bottom line if they keep you addicted to their food. Now, I know some of you are like, that's just nuts. Like, I love my tortilla chips and I love my Oreo cookies. And I'm like, yep, go ahead, do your research and find out. Like, there is such an injustice going on in the world when it comes to our food supply because a lot of it is keeping us addicted. Quite frankly, there's no other word for it. And so my question to my group was like, what injustices do you see? Well, let's talk about the supersize me, trends. Let's talk about the highly palatable foods. Let's talk about like all the things that are working against us that we don't even realize until we start living differently, until we're kind of awakened, right? So, I know that this sounds crazy, but I absolutely believe that part of what we do in our challenge groups as far as like equipping mothers to learn how to live healthy, learn how to pass that on to their kids, I feel like it's solving like a social injustice in the world. And you can call me crazy, but I truly believe that. I believe that when you empower a woman, when you help a mom, you influence an entire family. And when she is awakened to, her healthy best life, that has a ripple effect that impacts generations potentially. And let me tell you, the woman is going to be the one who solves this problem. Ooh, I have chill bumps that I just said that, and let me read this to you because I literally have chill bumps from the top of my head down to my toes, okay? You guys got to pick up the book and read it, and then, message me and we'll chat about it because I love talking about this stuff. But this is so beautiful, okay? I'm just going to read it to you. Just tolerate me. It's just stuff I love, all right? So she's talking about how long before there ever was a world problem, there was a world answer. Woman. Check this out. It's not good for man to be alone. I will make a helper who is just right for him. She goes on to say, after a lot of things, when I discovered and celebrated my feminine creation, I realized I was not an afterthought. As a daughter, wife, and mother, I was an answer. Listen to that. I was an answer. If I was an answer, then it was only logical that the sisters who surrounded my life were answers as well. We are not secondary citizens in the eyes of God. You, lovely one, have the potential to be a living, breathing solution to human problems. And as I travel this world, as I travel and declare the simple truth over the lives of women, young and old, I can barely explain the response. Women not only hear what I have to say with trembling hearts, but they speak it out loud and believe I am an answer. Oh my gosh, y'all. And that's what I had to come on here and share with you, is that you are an answer too. Do you realize that? Like, you are the answer to human problems in the world. And from my passion standpoint, it's health, right? Because I'm a breast cancer survivor. Of course, that's going to be my soapbox. Of course, I'm going to beat the drum over and over again. Why? Because I don't want anyone to have to go through what I went through. And I know that if I make some changes and if I can influence one person and that person is a mother, guess what? It's going to have a legacy impact. It is going to have the potential in this little realm, in this little space, to solve a human problem, which is our health, right? And there's lots of problems out there. But my challenge to you is that, like, you didn't go through your life experiences. You are not here just for your own self-benefit. You are here for a greater good. You are here for a greater purpose. You did not happen by accident. And so, I don't know, I just wanted to come in here and remind you that you are a living, breathing solution to real world problems. So, I don't know, that just fires me up because I truly believe that if we all were awakened to our God-given potential and our ability to make an impact and solve real issues, like, the world would absolutely change. So, anyway, the world has a solution, and it is a woman, and it is you. All right? So, no pressure, but you can solve and be an influencer and make changes that influence generations to come. I love you guys. Keep on fighting for your best life, okay?